Most hated cartoon characters. Whether you love them or hate them, these characters have been hated for a variety of different reasons. And today we're taking a look at a few of them. So let's get started. So starting off with Elmira from Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain. So following the end of the Pinky and the Brain series back in 1998, a spin-off series and a new character named Elmira would debut. Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain would premiere on November 14th, 1998. The audience didn't receive well to the new character, feeling as if she ruined the show. Audiences also felt she was annoying and was a frustrating character as she didn't match the dynamic that made the show a hit. Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain would later be cancelled in April 1999. Elmira would never be seen again despite the Pinky and the Brain returning for the reboot of Animaniacs in 2020. Sparky, The Fairly Oddparents. Season 9 of The Fairly Oddparents will give us such an annoying character, Sparky the Fairy Dog. And Sparky the Fairy Dog had me annoyed when I was 7. I had no idea why, but I just did not like Sparky. Like, I just wanted to take a blowtorch and just. Alright, that's enough. But yeah, Sparky didn't last too long for some reason. Well, because he was hated, obviously. But if you look online, you will definitely see the hate. You know, like people call him annoying, too over the top, and just a waste of space. Like he didn't deserve to be on the show. And I do agree. Like even though I understand he wanted to boost ratings, I just did not like Sparky. And I know Sparky meant no harm by being on the show, but season 9, like you adding a character in the last 2 seasons, that's just a huge mistake that most TV shows always make, and they never seem to learn from that lesson. Stop adding characters to like the last 2 seasons of the show. Just don't. Just let the show die. That's all you gotta do. Chloe Carmichael, The Fairly Odd Parents. The Fairly Odd Parents is putting a Slim Shady on us. It's honestly crazy how this show is on here back to back. Well, for this one, we're talking about Chloe Carmichael. She'll make her debut on The Fairly Odd Parents in not season 9, but season 10. And she was instantly hated due to her personality and her reason of being there. Many felt that her inclusion just ruined the dynamic between Timmy and his fairies, and she felt forced onto the show,
which she was.
and to this day, Chloe still leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. Now, I didn't watch much of Chloe on The Fairly Odd Parents, but from the little clips I've seen, I just don't like her. I'm like, I don't know, something about her that I just don't like. And plus, for some reason in this season, they decided to downgrade the animation. Like, why did it look like 10 times cheaper? I don't like it. Like, they really killed this show. Back to back. Like, if I had a nickel, I'm not doing that joke. But for real, back to back is crazy, man. Next one, Angelica Pickles. Regrets. Such a brat. I really just can't stand Angelica, man. I don't hate her, but man, she was so annoying. So bratty, so spoiled, and just annoying. And yeah, I said it twice. I put her at 3 because while I can tolerate Chloe, Sparky, and Amira, sometimes I just can't do that with Angelica. They know what they were doing when they wrote her character. And for that, I must give them props because she really did not do much for me with the show. And I guess she did her job, she did her role. What else can I say about this? But I guess to this day, I don't really like her like that. But I don't really hate her as much as the next two. Scrappy Doo from Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo. So Scrappy Doo joined Scooby Doo in 1979 when the network who aired Scooby Doo threatened to cancel if it didn't freshen up the show, as the ratings were slipping for Scooby Doo. So they decided to add a mini version of Scooby, who was more aggressive, who wanted to punch and fight, like let me at him, all that. And while I guess it did work because the new show, had good ratings, maybe, he was still a hated character, from the start. And even though he may not be as hated now, he still lives in infamy that he quote unquote ruined Scooby Doo. Scrappy will continue to appear in Scooby projects, but not in the same capacity as he did in the late 70s and early 80s. And I guess that was the best decision to keep it that way. But before we get to number 1, we must get through some dishonorable mentions. Dee Dee from Dexter's Laboratory. Now, it was it was hard to truly hate Dee Dee. In my eyes, she is very similar to Elmira, but better. You know, she was always ruining something, but at least she gave us a reason to like her at some points. Denzel Cracker, the Fairly Odd Parents. Now, this man had problems. Denzel Cracker was annoying, rude, and lazy. Like, this man only taught what they learned the day before. And even that is sometimes just nothing because he don't ever teach them anything really. Helga from Hey Arnold. She was too mean to Arnold, despite, having a huge crush on him, she was a character that everybody, wanted to hate. But at the same time, we felt bad due to her crazy life at home. If you know, you know. But that's all for my dishonorable mentions. Now we must get into the top pick. So for my top pick, I pick Caillou. Oh, man, this character is the worst character ever created. When I was little, I actually watched so much content from Caillou. Like, oh my god, like all the whining, the spoiled kid behavior, and don't get me started when he pinched Rosie. In fact, Caillou was so hated that they created an online series called Caillou Gets Grounded to give him a punishment. And I will admit that I watched some of those when I was like 10. It doesn't hold up anymore though, but back then it was hilarious, man. But no, the kid's parents don't even do anything. Like, there was no type of discipline when he pinched Rosie. The father basically did nothing. He just looked and like, oh, my son messed up. Damn. Like, that's how he looks. Like, look at this man. He was not ready to be a dad. I can go on and on for Caillou for hours. But yeah, I'm gonna add it to my list to make a video on it. But man, most hated cartoon characters, this list was crazy. And man, I just can't believe much of this. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching another episode of the Zay Zay Zone. If you enjoyed this episode, please give the video a like and subscribe. And comment down below a cartoon character you just can't stand. But yeah, other than that, guys, peace.